Welcome back to the Isaac Abrams Show, everybody. I'm your host, Isaac Abrams. Today's very special guest, comedian, actor, writer, producer, and now first-time philanthropist, Brittany Ross, everybody.
Hello.
On this episode, we talked about Brittany's acting career. I probably went too far down the acting road instead of like focusing on comedy because it's a comedy podcast, but it was fun. We're film people.
Acting is funny.
Acting is funny.
Being an actor is funny.
Brittany's been in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Two Broke Girls, shout out Jonathan Kite, The Middle, Mythic Quest, Desperate Housewives, and 51 other IMDb credits.
I have no idea.
She's been on everything, so check that out. And you can follow Brittany on social media at I am Brittany Ross.
Yes.
On everything.
I guess on everything, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I don't have the same thing on everything.
Well, I wanted Brittany Ross, but the girl who has Brittany Ross said, no.
Well, we're going to go to the other Brittany's house right now. It was a great conversation, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Just so you know, guys, we've never met. We just met. 2 minutes ago. New friends. What is your favorite funny movie?
My favorite funny movie. Gosh, I'm like not a great movie person. I really like I like the movie Liar Liar.
Oh, that's a good one.
My daughter is having a lying issue. She's 5. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm going to show her some clips from Liar Liar. And I think I just confused her more about lying. And I was like, see, he can't lie. I'm like, he can't lie. And then she's like, well, I can still lie. I can still say the pen is red. And I was like, oh, okay, fine.
Learning about lying from Liar
I was
Liar.
like, this will be great. My husband was like, what are you doing?
So
and I was
confusing.
like, I don't know. I feel like it was a good move. It's so funny, though.
That courtroom scene where they catch him. And he's like,
my gosh. My friends and I.
Yeah.
We used to do that. The pen is red. That bit, all the time.
The claw is the most cringe thing that's ever been in any movie ever. And I love, what is that? Carrie, the guy from Saw, is the stepdad.
I don't know. I didn't see Saw. I'm too scared of those kind of movies.
I don't do scary either. I saw Saw 1 and I was like, you can have the rest of them.
I'm like, no way. No, thank you. I haven't watched Liar Liar since being an adult except for those clips. I just know I used to love it. I'm scared to go back and watch it to see how. My friend yesterday was telling me that they watched Big again.
Oh, wow.
And I loved that movie.
Yeah.
And then she was like, they sleep together in the movie. And I was like, I forgot.
Oh, but he's like together. A kid
in an
adult body.
In an adult body. And they have sex. And she's like, call me in 10 years. I'm like, when he's 22, that's still fucking weird.
Man,
still not okay.
I can't remember what I watched recently, but there was something that just didn't hold up. And
most things don't.
No, especially from the 80s.
I know. I really liked Selena. Do you remember the movie Selena?
I didn't see that one.
It was one of my favorites. And
was that Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it
before she was J-Lo.
When she was just like, Selena. It looks like a Disney movie when you watch it again now.
She's from Argentina or something, and
she's from Mexico, I think. She's based on a true story.
Great, yeah. Mm-hmm. And Selena was a Latin singer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that.
Yeah, and she played
casting.
Selena.
Yeah.
She did a good job playing Selena.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
J-Lo's had a career, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She has.
I have some stories, but those are for off camera.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I worked on American Idol for a little while.
Oh, whoa,
when she was a judge. She would bring her rotating cast of boyfriends through the show. That's all I'm going to say on camera.
I mean, I think everybody knows that she can have all the boyfriends she wants, right? Yeah. She looks amazing.
Still looks great.
Seriously.
Yeah. She's
in
holding
person,
it together.
too? Looks
yeah. And she's very kind. She's a very nice person.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Okay.
I don't have any trash to talk on her. And I've tried to stay away from talking trash on her. But you kind of give away that you don't like scary movies, so I'm not going to ask you your favorite scary movie.
Yeah, I don't like scary movies. Yeah. I'm really scared. My mom raised me on Lifetime movies. Mm-hmm. And when she was single, it was just me and my mom and my sister, and she would let me stay up and watch the Lifetime movie with her every night. But it ended at 10 and my bedtime was at 9, so she sent me to bed every night with the killer still on the loose. And it just traumatized me. I was like, why? It's like the guy's like climbing into the woman's window. Why am I watching this anyways?
And commercial break, bedtime.
You need to go to bed,
Right.
Brittany. And I was like,
and your bed's
what?
right by the window.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's it. Did that affect you? Does it affect you to this day?
Yeah. I also lived in South America when Pablo Escobar was bombing everything.
Okay.
And that was right before I moved back to Texas with my mom. My parents got divorced when I lived over there. So my mom and my sister and I moved back to Texas. My dad stayed in South America. But I heard bombs go off. Like, my dad's boss got kidnapped. They were like, don't leave your house at night because you're like long blonde hair, blue eye. So I think it already had instilled this fear in me that like, oh, this stuff can actually happen.
Yeah.
And then my mom was like, let's watch a Lifetime movie. And just like show you how it could happen even more. Yeah. So I definitely, I recently cut myself off of like all true crime stuff because it was affecting me. Like, I was like thinking things were going to happen to me all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the start of an episode of Dateline. Anytime I got in an elevator, you know, I was like, red flags.
Yeah. I'm working on a bit right now, and I just came up with a premise yesterday about how women love true crime, but specifically the one where the wife gets away with killing her husband.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But I don't know where I'm going to take it, but I just started working on it yesterday.
I have a bit about that because there's a lot of shows about women killing their husbands. There's like a lot of them. Wives with Knives, Happily Never After.
Oh, you got the whole
Southern
list.
Pride Homicide. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of husbands that deserve to be killed out there.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I know. I'm like, my husband hums and whistles around the house, and I'm like, that's why so many wives are killing their husbands.
It. Stop whistling.
Stop chewing so loud.
Yeah, especially near the knives. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, I know.
The knife was right there. You were chewing and whistling. You got to go.
Like, it's just like way easier than all the paperwork that comes with divorce, I feel like.
Yeah, divorce is so hard. If you kill somebody in like a week, the funeral's over, and then you just go on with your life.
I know.
Yeah, as long
Seriously.
as the detectives don't get in the way.
I know.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I cut myself off, because I started to get like freaked out that I was going to be one of those people who just like lost it in the middle of the night and like didn't remember anything. And I was like, after I had a baby, you have all these like weird intrusive thoughts all the time, anxiety thoughts. And I was like freaking out that I was just going to like black out in my sleep. So I was like, I need to not watch this stuff anymore.
Let's watch some kid shows.
Yeah, I'm like, let's watch something else.
Yeah, Blue's Clues is good, right? Now, you mentioned a couple of places that you lived earlier, but on your website it says Alaska, Scotland, South America, Texas, Chicago, and Hawaii. That's a lot of places to live. Was that all as a kid?
I went to college in Hawaii, so everything else was like as a kid.
Right.
I guess that's college. You're still a kid.
Because you were a top tier cheerleader.
Yeah,
I saw that clip.
I was. I went to college on a cheerleading scholarship. And
did you win when you were there? All right.
Yep.
I watched that Netflix cheerleading show sometimes.
Yep. That's like was exactly my life. I thought I was going to do that forever because nobody really graduates in cheerleading. You just like stay in it forever. Yeah. You don't have to. It's not regulated by the NCAA, and like college nationals is the end of the road. So everybody just stays. Nobody really gets a diploma. You kind of compete, drop all your classes, move on to whatever school's going to win next year, or keep going to that school.
You don't age out. You can be like 28.
My first stump burner was 27, and I was 18.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Is there money in it? Can you like make a career out of it, or do you just
so you're on scholarship from your school, so you're not paying for school, and a lot of people end up opening a gym, coaching cheerleading, like choreographing cheerleading routines. A lot of people design cheerleading T-shirts for like teams.
Okay.
That's like a big thing that people do. They do the music for competitions.
Remix.
There's just like a lot of different. They judge competitions. They do like camps.
There's a lot. I didn't realize. There's a cheer school next to the brewery in my neighborhood, Frogtown Brewery in Frogtown. And after practice, it's like a family place. They sell food and stuff. Yeah. So sometimes I'll just go in there and there'll be like 150 10-year-olds running around the bar.
In sports bras and little shorts.
In practice stuff, but yeah.
I mean, when I was in Texas, so we were wearing like, tiny little outfits. It's like tiny, like young people.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Do you know Chappelle Lacey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about that a long time ago, that we both like cheered in college. Yeah.
Big guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His cheerleading stories are so funny because you never expect him. He's such a big, tough guy.
No, I know. That's like what everyone on my team was. Like all the guys on the team were like that.
Mm-hmm.
There were only 6 girls on my team, but there were 14 guys.
Really?
No, there were 8 girls who could compete and 12 guys because I was on a co-ed team.
Is that normal? Isn't it more like... Because when
For
I
a
see
co-ed
TV, it's
team,
like
it
30
is.
women and like 5 guys or something.
That's... So... Those are like dancer type cheerleaders maybe that you're watching.
Oh, okay.
But I was on like a competitive... There's like competitive college cheerleaders, and we're athletes who cheer for ourselves. And then there's dancers who... Like NFL cheerleaders are dancers and they cheer for other people.
Right.
So there's like a big athletic distinction, I feel like, between the two of them.
Right. Don't get that messed up.
No. And I was on the co-ed team.
Was going to the NFL or NBA or anything, was that?
No, because they're really dancers.
Okay.
So like they dance people at my college, like maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I feel like people on my team, if they did leave, some of them went to like Cirque du Soleil or things
right,
like
'cause
that.
we're
more
flying
like
through the air and
gymnast
flipping
type,
and stunting.
acrobatic type stuff, yeah.
Have you ever done any stunt work with flips and stuff as an actor?
No, I mean, I've played a cheerleader on TV a long time. I've been asked by like stunt people, like, oh, if you want to, back in the day, they'd be like, you could stunt double kids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
It's a good way to break every bone in your body.
I'm like, I already did that.
Mm-hmm.
I already like lived that life. I've like broken so many things.
Yeah.
Been like terrified all the time, you know.
Have you broken one thing more than once? Like, have you broken like an arm 25 times or something?
No. I broke my wrists kind of multiple. It's like I broke my growth plates in my wrists, and then I like had wrist surgery another time. So I've had like multiple things happen to my wrists, but I broke my ankle. Had a lot of concussions.
Okay. A little CTE going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the highest you've fallen from?
Pretty high. I mean, I've seen people I've seen my sister get just like thrown, you know, you get thrown like 30 feet in the air and like not caught. I saw my sister one time get thrown up like really high and just like boom on like a basketball court. Like nobody caught her. That was terrifying.
She okay?
Yeah, she's okay. She's okay. Well, hopefully she's a year younger than me.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
Just 1 year. Irish twins?
Yeah, we're really close in age. She's 15 months younger than me.
Wow.
And she was always on my team. She like followed me everywhere I went, and then got better at everything that I did. Like I was always on the best team, but she was the best one on the best team. So everyone knew me as Chelsea Ross's big sister, which is like I grew up in the shadow of my little sister somehow.
I did that to my sister. She got into photography, and I was like, oh, I'm getting into photography.
Is she older than you?
She's 21 months. 21 months
Yeah,
older.
it's just like so mean.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the path is cleared for you guys.
Right.
Come right through and take over.
She got into music. I started a band. She got into photography. I'm a photographer.
What does she do now?
She does not work. Her husband
She just was like, I give up.
I'm like, how do I not work now? Her husband is the lead app developer for a tech company.
Oh, cool.
He was with one of the food delivery services during Pandy, and he did very well.
Oh,
and then
nice.
I think he's at Adobe now.
Okay.
But they're
Cool.
in North Carolina. They're having a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're still socially distancing because they're high risk. So he works from home.
Oh,
It's just the two of them.
okay.
Yeah.
So do you see them ever?
Zoom a
Oh,
couple times a
wow.
week. Yeah. But they're thinking about coming and visiting for Memorial Day, I think.
Okay.
I haven't seen her in person in like 4
Do they
years.
not see anybody in person?
Not unless they're like
So hard.
going to the grocery store. They like to go
Whoa.
camping. They bought a Sprinter van. They take the cats to the woods.
The cats?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they do.
Okay.
Yeah, she's big time into crochet.
Okay.
And she likes to go to do costumes for theater. So her and my girlfriend chat about that every once in a
Wow.
while. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the women in my life like to make clothes
That's awesome.
or buy clothes.
I like to buy clothes. I wish I could make clothes.
Yeah. I'm really excited for my girlfriend's next movie to be over because I'm going to get all of Josh Brolin's clothes.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And I'm not his size, so I got to go to the gym.
Oh my gosh.
I'm his waist size, but he's taller than me and he's got much bigger shoulders.
Okay.
So fortunately I can get it all taken in.
Nice.
I think.
My friend worked on a show. My friend was a costume designer for a while, and she was on a show that Anne Heche was on, and I got like quite a few of her things because I guess she's like pretty. I got some very nice blouses.
Really? Mm-hmm. I thought she was super tall.
I think she's tall, but I think she's like petite. I don't know.
Okay. Music. What's your favorite artist?
Gosh, I'm so bad at music. Like that's such my downfall. I mean, growing up, I listened to country music because my mom also raised me on country. I feel like I just like liked what my mom liked, you know? And I know I don't listen to it anymore, but if a country song comes on, I know all the words to like every country song. Mm-hmm. And my husband's from Switzerland and he speaks English really well. Like you'd never know it's not his first language because he moved here for theater. Like he went to Northwestern for acting and he kind of just like, I don't want to be the French guy. So he lost his accent. Mm-hmm. He like worked really hard, but he cannot understand words to country songs at all. Like it's so funny. So now I like to play it and just like sing them sometimes because he's like, I have no idea what you're saying or what that means at all.
That would be like him singing it's French, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they speak French in Switzerland?
They speak multiple languages in Switzerland. So he's from the French part of Switzerland, but then they speak German, and then there's a small part that speaks Italian.
And he can speak all of it?
He grew up speaking French and Italian because his mom's from Italy. And then he knows a little bit of German because I think they have to learn a little bit in school. But, like, he acts like he doesn't know any, but he knows, like, a lot more. And he knows Spanish, too.
Did you guys meet on a movie?
No, we didn't. One of my best friends, actually the one who would give me all the clothes, was dating one of his best friends. And they set us up, and then they broke up 3 weeks later.
Because you guys have I didn't write it down. You have a similar credit. Like you guys were in the same movie.
Yeah, he played my husband in a movie.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. I just assumed that's when you guys met, but I didn't check the date.
No, we were married already when we did that movie. And I got this job to do this, to be in that movie, and I know the director, and she knows Marco too, and she was like, would Marco want to play your husband in the movie? Because we had to go on a cruise ship for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was like, if we're all going together, we might as well like bring people that yeah. And
that's
so
perfect casting.
Yeah, it was so fun. I mean, it was fun for me. My husband had transitioned. He wasn't really acting anymore at the point, and he was doing real estate a lot, and he was trying to do like real estate deals in the middle of the ocean. And like I feel like he was losing his mind, and I was like, this is so fun. And he's like in the room just like trying to get cell service, like freaking out about some deal or something. But yeah.
That's funny. He's like, okay, Bob, let's close the boom.
Yeah. Yeah. And we like we were supposed to leave from Fort Lauderdale, and there was this huge hurricane that happened. So instead of, they were worried we were all going to miss our flights, so they flew us all out early and put us up in the Disney hotels in Orlando.
Yep.
And we stayed there because they never lose power, I guess. So we stayed there just to make sure like the whole cast and crew was there before we left during the hurricane. They like flew us out before the hurricane, and we stayed there and it was the cast and crew of the movie, and then every like old folks home in the area. They brought every nursing home person into this Disney hotel because they can't lose power.
No, it's like a fortress.
They'll like actually die, you know? So it was those few days were like wild. Yeah,
I had a buddy that like knew there was a hurricane coming, but his family had a scheduled trip to Disney. He's like, we're going anyway.
Yeah.
It's the safest place to be.
It really is.
Okay.
I know. We did go to Disney World one day, like while it was right before. I think they closed down for a day, and it's like the first time they've ever closed in forever. But the day before they closed, we went, and we were like the only ones there.
Do you go to Disneyland over here?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I have a friend who works at Disney, so they'll like take us because my kids are really I have a baby who's like so little, but my daughter's 5 and she's just getting to the point where it's like she can do more things there, but it's just such a waste.
Yeah.
to take little kids there.
Yeah, I went to Disney World when I was 8, and I barely remember it.
Yeah. So I'm like, unless we're going for free, where I can be like, oh, it's fine if we leave at noon.
Mm-hmm.
Then, because if you pay for it, you're like, we are staying
Yeah.
here until the end.
We're getting up at 3
You
o'clock
see
in the morning.
All the kids melting down.
Yeah.
Every time I go, I'm like, it's like, every time I go, I'm like, I'm never coming here again. You know, I feel like it's like when you like binge drink and you're like, never doing that again. And then you forget and you go 6 months later.
Yeah, or every 3 days.
Yeah, every 3 days. Yeah. Disneyland is so, just like watching all the parents like lose their shit and like watching like all the fights that happen between couples like as the afternoon goes on. Like it's kind of funny to like watch it all go down.
I have only been there at night as it's closing because I've filmed like a bunch of the commercials. Every time they come up with a new Mickey, I work with that team. So we'll roll in there at like 9 or 10. We're not allowed to bring the gear out to the castle till 11. Okay. And that's when they're pushing everybody out the gate.
And is everybody like passed out and
like,
asleep?
I don't want to leave.
Yeah, I know.
And people are trying to hide in bushes and like stay overnight. I'm like, trust me, you do not want to be here at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but that's also like the late night crew then of people who are like, I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
I feel like if you want to see shit go crazy, go around like nap time, like 2 or like 6 p.m. That's when you see like all the kids losing their minds.
I never thought about that.
And like last time we were there, it was so funny. There was this kid who like had like a new toy clearly that he had gotten from Disneyland, and the mom was holding her cell phone, and the kid like went to take the cell phone out of the mom's hand, and she just was like so pissed, and she just hit the toy out of the kid's hand and just kept walking. It's like stuff like that every step of the way.
Just unhinged Disney. That would be a great like TikTok channel.
It's like the unhappiest place in the world for parents. Like,
I never thought about nap time though. Like, what if your kids used to having a nap every day? Like you just spent $1,200 to go to the happy place.
Yeah, everyone's like trying to get their kid to nap in a stroller, and kids are just like scream crying and like laying on the ground.
They should have a little nap zone.
They should.
But that means that's an hour that you're not spending money.
Unless the nap zone costs like $200.
Yep, they should do that. Welcome to the $200 nap zone.
I feel like a lot of people would pay for that.
Yeah. And then you pay extra to have Mickey wake your kid up.
Oh my, that's kind of creepy though.
That is creepy. I realized that as it was falling out of my mouth, I was like, nope.
Yeah, no.
I saw a clip the other day on TikTok about one of the characters. I guess there's some kind of symbol they could make. I hope I'm not throwing gang signs right now, but like they can't talk.
Yeah.
So if they're hot or they need to go anywhere, they like tap themselves somehow.
Oh, and interesting.
I just watched a compilation of like all the
signs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah, they can only be out. Their union says they can only be out on the floor for 30 minutes at a time. 30 on, 30 off.
Okay.
Which is fun unless you're trying to shoot a Disney commercial. And you need
like
Mickey.
Less than the kids.
Yeah, like, can we get 2 Mickeys? They're like, there's only one.
You're like, could we actually get a kid? Because they could work longer than this Mickey Mouse.
Right, can we get a 3-year-old in here?
They can at least work for like an hour probably,
you
right?
would think at night when it's cold, the same rules wouldn't apply.
Yeah.
But they have very specific costume actors gilded rules.
Okay.
Which is, I love protections for actors. I think they're in place for a reason.
Yeah.
But like, you know, every rule should have an exception.
Yeah.
If it's 35 degrees outside in Anaheim, Mickey should be able to rock that costume for more than 20 minutes.
A little bit longer.
A little bit,
Yeah. Or you're going to get Mickey's brother to get out there.
Have you ever done any costume stuff? Have you like done like character work
in costume,
like mascot stuff?
No, not like with a head situation, not like in a character, in like a thing. No. Have you?
Oh no, I've never been in one of those things.
Well, actually, when I was a cheerleader, we had this shark costume in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. That was our mascot, Sharky, and I remember it would like get shipped because I think somebody would wear it and like come out during, I don't know, but I remember having it in a hotel room and putting it on. I was probably drunk in a hotel room in a mascot costume. I remember that kind of.
All right.
So I guess so.
Yeah. I did the Capital One Mascots Challenge for a couple of years in a row. It was
cool.
20 different mascots from the school, the actual mascots. We'd fly them in.
Cool.
And it would be 20 different like mini scenes over the course of a week. Those kids are crazy when they get together because they're not famous. They're famous when they're in the thing.
Yeah.
So when you put 20 of them around, they're like, oh, these are my friends. They understand what I'm going through. They know what I'm doing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's like mascot camp and stuff too.
Yeah.
Growing up, when I would go to cheer camp, I think there was also mascot camp.
Across the street.
Yeah, across the street.
You guys have water balloon fights.
Yeah.
But a lot of your comedy is about your kids. Because I watched
Yeah.
a bunch of clips. What's one of the funniest things that's not in a bit that your kids have said or done?
Oh my gosh, that my kids have said or done.
It's probably tough to say that's not in a bit, because if they did something funny, you'd probably be like, oh my God, I'm going to talk about this on stage.
I mean, everything they say or do. I mean, to me, I guess it's like too long to do as a bit, but my daughter is like lying like crazy, but she's so good at it.
Really?
Yeah, and it's kind of scary. And I've been asking my other friends, like, so does your kid lie? And they're like, sometimes they'll say it. And I'm like, but like this? And I'll say, and they're like, no, that's insane. And I'm just like, okay, but she was telling me this lie, and to me, it's just like the weird dark stuff that is funny. So I had to leave to go to a show, and she stayed at dinner with my husband, and like my mom was in town, and they were at this like outdoor place, and I guess she like told my husband that she saw some baby fall and like hit its head, and there was no parent around to help the baby. And then the lie grew, and she told my mom that the baby was like there was blood everywhere.
Oh wow.
And then, I mean, this is not funny, but I don't know why I
It's
just took
kind
this
of funny.
turn. And then she's like, because she's also like the most angelic, sweet-looking child ever. So when she's like telling you, she's like, and there's blood everywhere. And nobody helped the baby. Nobody. And my mom was like, okay. And she's like, I need to call my mom and tell her. And she's like, she's at a show. You can't call her. She's like, no, I need to call her. She's like, you can't tell her. And so she drew a picture for me and left it on my pillowcase because she really wanted to call me. And so she's like, I'm going to draw her a picture. And there's a picture of like a little girl crying and like
blood everywhere.
Blood, kind of. And I don't know. It's like X's, and then like a picture of like a parent's face with an X through it, and it's literally like a slip of paper this small to find on your pillowcase when you get home at like midnight,
And not knowing it's
and
going to be
not know
there.
what it was.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, she's like, "No, this." She ran in. She's like, "This baby fell, and like there was blood everywhere, and there was a screw stuck in its head." And I was like,
Just
"What?"
keeps adding details.
I was like, that is not true. And she's like, it's true. I'm like, it's not true. And we like finally talk about it. I'm like, it's like the whole day goes on. It's like she's brushing her teeth at night. And I was like, I think what happened, I think there's part of it that's true and part of it that's like your imagination and like you're a good storyteller. I'm trying to like separate it. And she's like, I was like, I think you probably saw a baby fall and maybe it's mom or dad was not right there. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, and I think the rest of it like you kind of made up. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, but I told you that way before I decided to stop lying. And I was like 2 seconds ago. And then she's like, I just don't know how to stop the lies. And like broke down crying about the lies. And I was like, it's okay. Like, it's fine. Well, I'll help you figure this out.
So acting just runs in the family.
Yeah. And then she's like, yeah, you're right. I did just see the baby fall. And she's like, but then I picked the baby up because it was this small. So I picked it and I just was like, what's going on right now?
Right.
I am not equipped to handle whatever this is.
Yeah. What a great imagination, though.
Yeah, seriously.
Hopefully it's for good in the future.
I think I'm like at the crossroads where like I have to either like help her turn it to the good side
Right.
or it could
or just
go really
let her go full
bad.
dark. Yeah. Just give her a pen and paper and put her in the
Yeah.
dark. Be like, you're the next Stephen King.
Yes, just like do it.
Yeah.
Write your true stories down.
Write mommy a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll produce it.
Yeah, totally.
Would you don't like to watch scary movies, but would you act in a scary movie?
I think so. Yeah, because I would like know what was going on, but yeah, I wouldn't really want to watch it.
Yeah. I got super freaked out by the Freddy Krueger commercials in the 80s.
Okay.
Like just the commercial, I couldn't sleep because I knew he could like get you.
Yeah.
But then very early on in my PA career, was doing a commercial, and the director was like, "Hey, I'm shooting a short at my house, and you PAs want to work this weekend?" And I was like, "I'm broke." Mm-hmm. So he bought a house, and he was going to gut it, but before the remodeling team came in, he just covered it in blood.
Whoa.
And he had this big, like, 6'6" guy, only wearing like a meat apron, and just going around the house just hacking people up. And I was like, okay, next time you see something scary, just don't, like, whatever you're looking at, just pretend you're standing next to the camera. And I was like, oh, okay, I could do it. So I started watching a few scary movies after that. But the good ones, like good movies, you're like, forget that there's a camera there.
Yeah, because they make you jump. It's the jump thing. I'm the person who, like, flails when I jump in the movie theater. Like, I jump and, like,
throw the popcorn.
Hit everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gasp really loud and, like, yeah.
I hate the movie theater.
You do?
Yeah. I don't want to pay that much money for someone else to ruin my experience by being on their phone.
For somebody like me to gasp and
You're fine. That's totally fine because you're probably reacting to something that I'm also reacting to. But if I can see the light of your phone on, or your phone goes off, or you get up and walk in front of me, or I want to go to the bathroom, like, I have a perfect viewing experience at my house, and I can pause it, or I can leave.
I recently went to a movie with my daughter, and there was a mom there, and, like, I don't know, everybody, it's got to be hard to have a ton of kids, but she had, I have 2, and it's hard, but she had, like, 3 kids with her, but the littlest one was old enough, I thought, to be watching the movie because it was a kid's movie, but was watching a show on her iPhone in the movie theater.
No thanks.
And I was like, are you kidding me?
Double screens?
I was like, get out of here. Like, don't bring any of your kids to the movie. Stay home. Do something else. Like, if you can't find something for the little one, I don't know. This whole, like, iPhone, iPad generation of children is terrifying to me.
How old are yours when you let them have screens?
My daughter doesn't have an iPad. Like, we don't let her have an iPad to watch things. Like, she can watch a show or a movie on the TV. You know, we used to only let her watch movies because shows are like crack, you know. They're like... One more. Yeah, a movie, at least you're, like, you feel fulfilled by the end.
It's probably how she's such a good storyteller now. Yeah. She sees it all the way through. Yeah. She knows character arcs.
Yeah, she knows beginning, middle, end.
Right. Rise, like, fall, rise, fall, rise, fall. Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, but I think that we, like, don't let her watch our phones or the iPad. She can watch an iPad on a plane.
Tim Cook didn't let his kids, he's the Apple guy, he didn't let his kids look at any screens.
I know, which really is terrifying. I watched that. There was, like, that documentary that came out forever ago about how all of them are like, no, you can't have phones. You can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
What happens if you go to dinner and you see a family with similar age kids and they're all on their iPads?
If they're at dinner with us?
No, like, just across the restaurant. Do your kids go like, hey, they get to watch screens?
No, she knows that every family, like, is different. You know, it's hard if you're at dinner with, like, a family that pulls out one for their kid. Oh. Because then you have to be like, you can't watch it, even though it's, like, right there. And she's like,
yeah, they're sitting next to each other. Oh, yeah. Do you have to, like, do a parent conference beforehand? Be like, hey, we're not doing screens. Are you guys doing screens? Do you have to, like, check in?
I mean, like, most of my friends that I would want to actually, like, go to dinner with, I don't think would put their kids on I don't know. It's like, especially if the kids are going to dinner together, like, they can interact as opposed to watching a screen. It happens occasionally if you run into people on something, and I'm like, you're not really supposed to, but then you feel like you're shaming the other parent by telling them that your kid can't do it. It's like a whole weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad parents out there.
I mean, you're not a bad parent if you put your kid in front of a screen or something. I just feel like...
I'm not trying to paint you in a corner.
I feel like I'm going to get canceled by all the parents because everybody does it.
Look, the demographic of parents that watch this show is... I mean, it's all parents, basically.
Yeah, that's who you get, parents.
No, it's 97% dudes, 24 to 37.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, YouTube just gives you all the stats.
Great.
Yeah, it'd be great if one female person watched this show every once in a while, but we're working on it.
Maybe they'll watch it while they're at dinner with their kids.
Maybe the kids
on an
are
iPad.
Watching it. Oh, that's so funny, dude. I have a couple more questions. I hate to keep going to the pre-recorded stuff, but, like, I worked so hard on these.
Do it. You took a lot of notes.
I did. And at the end, I do a bunch of would you rathers because that stuff clips really good. I'm gonna let you pick.
Okay.
What do they not tell you about acting? Like before you get into acting, you think acting is this one thing, and then you get on set, and it's what's like the biggest difference between what you thought acting would be and what it actually is. Or if you don't want to answer that, what do you do in your trailer to pass the time?
Oh, okay.
Or both.
I can do both.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand. I started kind of doing stuff when I was a kid. So I'm like trying to think what I didn't know before, because I was doing commercials when I was really little.
Oh, so you've just been in it your whole life.
I mean, I was just doing commercials where I like smiled and looked cute. I wasn't really acting until later, but I think that it's a lot of waiting.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a lot of like doing the same thing over and over again, you know? I think that you don't realize that it's like so piecemeal.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Even like an audition, you learn like so many pages of dialogue, and then you go to set and you're doing like this chunk, then this chunk, then this chunk. So it's not a play.
Yeah. Which is what's kept me from going to the other side of the camera. So I'm so terrified of like not memorizing it. But if I'm doing a movie as an AD or director, I can have the whole script in my head, and then the minute we wrap, it just purges. I have no idea what the film's about. But
I know,
like if there's a camera on me and it's like, say these words, I'm like, these words.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a weird memory where I can like look at the page and remember it, but I remember where the words are. Like I see the page in my head.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Because I'll look at a page like this. I'm like, I wrote this an hour ago. And I'm like, what does that say? I didn't memorize it.
But then it will like, I don't retain it like later. I'm the same. Right. Where like I used to study for tests, but I would like look at the book right before I went in to take a test, remember it, take the test, get a good grade, forget everything.
Wow.
So I'm always like, I'm not stupid, but I don't like know much because I didn't really like retain
Who cares?
a lot of it.
If you want to know it again, you just go look at it one more. Yeah,
I'm a good test taker.
That's all school cares about.
Yeah, I know. And it's all acting really cares. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's like as long as you know it for a second.
Yeah, as long as you're standing in the right spot when you remember it.
You're good to go.
It's great. And a lot of times they don't want you to move anyway for focus.
Yeah, no. And then in my trailer, I'm not somebody who knows, I don't know how to relax very well. Like relaxing gives me anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always bring my laptop. I'm always working on something else at the same time, like while I'm in my trailer, which is, I also have a hard time like getting interrupted if I'm writing, you know?
Right. And they're like, come on, it's time to go to set. Yeah.
So I have to like take a lot of effort to like pull myself back into it every time, because you get like little short stints, but it could be like a 3-hour stint and you thought you're only gonna have 10 minutes. So I try and like start working on something, or I like hang out with other people on set.
Yeah, I've never understood why people stay in their trailer the whole time. Like I just want to I want to see how the soup's made.
Yeah, I'm either like out or like working on something.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, I worked on a lot of kid shows back in the day too, and so I was probably in my, like as I started to get older, I was probably in my trailer more, because I was like, I don't need to hang out with, like I feel weird hanging out with these kids.
Right.
I'm so much older than them.
Oh, because you were playing
eating lunch
younger?
One time. They're like, I was a guest on a show and I was playing really young. I remember like the cast was like, come eat lunch in our dressing room, and like without the whole cast, and I was like, I should not be in here. This is so weird. They're all talking about like getting their driver's license, and I'm like, I've fully graduated college, been out for like a long time.
Yeah, and they're just like, on break from school. They got to go back to school.
And I was like, I need to like eat in my own dressing room next time.
Yeah. Do you? I started to form a question about food on set, but it seems like it's a little inside baseball. Like, have you ever been served something that like you absolutely didn't want to eat, and that's all they had for catering? That's kind of a silly
to eat
question.
at catering. I mean, I've definitely had to eat things in a like I've done commercials where I've had to say like I'll eat things that I don't really eat.
Yeah, and then you get to spit it out right away.
Yeah, I did a commercial when I was like 4 months pregnant, but nobody knew because they'll freak out if they think you're pregnant, you know, and they're like, oh no, like they won't not hire you because you're pregnant,
but they won't not hire you. Yeah.
So I remember the guy playing my husband. I hadn't told anybody, and I was so nauseous, and we were walking to set, And it was for, I don't know, like ranch or something. And they were like, you can't, I had to eat chicken and like, so, and I don't eat meat. And I remember as we were walking to set, I was like, and just so you know, I'm only going to eat the fries because I'm pregnant and I'm not going to eat anything. And he was like, what? Like, and he just like didn't really know how to. Right. I was like so awkward about how I told him.
And it's
but
now
like,
it's his responsibility.
And it was like, put it on him at the very last minute.
My wife doesn't
like,
eat
don't
no
tell
chicken.
anybody. Don't tell anybody.
He's eating double chicken
he's
now.
Like trying to like make it okay for me.
Oh no! How did it end up? You didn't have to eat any chicken?
I don't think I ate any chicken. No.
But you had to eat ranch, huh? Did you have to dunk the fries in the ranch?
I feel like we didn't even really have to eat. I think we had to like cut things up. I feel like I remember being like, oh, this really worked out in my favor because we didn't really have to.
Yeah. They
always want you to be able to eat, and you're not eating that much anyways. And you can just eat around the thing that you don't. Yeah. You know?
They, with the burger stuff, I did a lot of burger stuff, and they put like pins and stuff in it to hold it together because this side needs to look great, but this side needs to taste okay. Yeah. And I remember I did this ice cream commercial one time, and we had a kid, and he kept eating it, and I was like, buddy, you got to spit that out. Yeah. We're going to take like 45. We're going for coverage, and I was like, buddy, you have to spit it out. He's like, no, I love it. He ended up puking everywhere. Oh, my gosh. Poor guy. Yeah, so remember, kids, spit your food out.
Yeah, spit your ice cream out.
Yeah. Okay, so we covered what they don't talk about in acting. We talked about what you do in your trailer. We talked about memorizing the whole script. Oh, what's your like dream role or dream director to work with?
This is again where since I don't know celebrities or things like that, I feel like this one's hard for me. But I always joke that my dream role is like Doc Brown in Back to the Future.
Oh wow! Okay,
I feel like it's never guessed. Off type for me. Yeah. But I watched that movie and I'm like, that's what I want to play. Some like zany like.
Just crazy professor guy?
Yeah. Okay. Or like Kramer and Seinfeld. Like I feel like I like the way I feel like I move similarly to these people.
Just
They're like very like stiff and a little I told you I like gasp and like hit so there's something about that I find funny.
That is funny. Sorry, I was just being distracted by whoever's speakerphone that is in the hallway. There's I think this is all agents and accountants and rabbis.
Oh, nice mix.
Little mix.
Yeah,
there.
I like it.
Yeah.
You can get everything you need here.
Yeah, and there's a Kinsey or a dress shop next door.
Perfect.
Okay, just in case.
Perfect, just in case.
Just in case I wear the wrong shirt one day. Just pop over there.
I also know that you're saying it. You know, the movie Death Becomes Her?
I can't remember the plot, but like.
That I love that movie. I always was like, I want to be like Goldie Hawn's role in that movie. I like a lot of Goldie Hawn movies, like all her like vibe casting, like Private Benjamin, that kind of a vibe.
Okay,
I like.
Now you recently wrote a short, or was that not recently? There's something that you wrote that's in pre-production right now.
I think we produced. It's already been made.
Oh, can you talk about that at all, or is it still secret?
I'm trying to think which one it is that's on there.
There's one.
Is it called The Girl Who Cried Dateline? Or is it called Silent Date?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well.
I can cut this part out.
One of them is called Silent Date, and I did that with Martin Starr. Do you know Martin Starr?
Yes.
Yeah.
From Silicon Valley.
Yes.
And many other things.
Yes. But, he's hilarious and just like the best. I love working with him, and he was great. And it was like a true story that I had told. Do you know this thing called The Moth? It's like a storytelling competition.
No, I know the movie The Moth.
No, it's not that.
Okay.
It's like a storytelling competition that NPR hosts, and like people tell true stories and stuff, and it's really cool. They do it all over the country, and so I told this true story about this silent date I went on. And it was somebody who was dating and invited me on a silent date. And it was so weird. And I kind of like blacked it out of my mind that I agreed to do this silent date.
Wait, it was silent on purpose, or the person couldn't talk?
No, the person invited me to go on a silent date on purpose.
Like you both have the ability to speak, but you're going to choose not to for a whole date. That's a thing people do?
this person I was dating who was newly spiritual and very like, I mean, I joke that it made me realize I'm somebody who's like really susceptible to joining a cult because like I have that personality.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I was young and I was like, I had just read this book called Getting to I Do. And it was like this author tells women like tricks of how to get men to like think they're the one for them.
Okay.
And it basically is just like wear makeup all the time, wear makeup at the beach, say yes to whatever they think you should do, be agreeable.
What year was that written, in the 50s?
It was old. Somebody had suggested it to me and I was like, okay, I'll read this. And I don't know, I was also like in this weird year of my life where I was into manifesting. You know, we all have that. If you live in LA, you have at least one.
You have to manifest.
Yeah. So I was in
Nothing
that
good
year.
happens to you if you didn't manifest it.
No, I was like really manifest. I thought I manifested this guy. I was like very enamored, and he's like, "We should go on this silent date." And I was like, "Okay."
Wasn't the first date though, right? It was.
No, we were like dating.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And I like didn't know the rules of a silent date. I like didn't want to ask.
There's only one rule, right?
I didn't know if I could text him or not because I remember I got locked out of the apartment. I like couldn't remember the gate code, and I was like, he's gonna make me feel bad about not remembering the gate code.
You're trying to do sign language.
Yeah,
from the sidewalk,
it's just like should I like text him or not? And like. Anyways, it was like we basically like we stared at each other. He also was singing this thing where he like wasn't supposed to have sex because whatever religion he was following, but he was like occasionally like maybe once a month it's okay. And I was
you
like,
hear about that all the time.
Is this the once a month or like
right?
When does the month reset? Like, is it on the first or is it like after the like how does this work? And so I didn't know. I was like, what are we gonna do if we also like he didn't drink, like we weren't gonna have sex, like we weren't gonna talk. I was like, I really don't know what this date is gonna be. And we kind of just like stared at each other. He like took me upstairs, sat me on the bed, stared at me for a really long time.
Did you go out anywhere in public?
No, this was like at his apartment.
Oh, so okay, it was a home date.
A home date.
Okay. Not like
no
restaurant,
other.
No bowling, just come on, no TV.
This was just no TV. This was just like a looking into each other's souls date.
Wow. For how long?
The whole night. And then I like went along with this like a psycho. And he did like prayers standing on his bed. So I like did that too. I just like followed along silently. And then
how'd you know he was praying?
Because he would like stand and then kneel and stand and then kneel. And I was like praying for the whole experience to end. And he's like praying for world peace. And I just was like, what am I doing? But all my friends are married.
He's secretly praying for sex. And you're like, I just want to leave.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what's happening. And then he left. He like walked to his bathroom. And this is the part that like maybe like 8 years after this happened, I was talking to one of my friends who knows this person, and I was like, oh, this weird thing happened to me. And I like had not talked about it at all. And I was married by the time I like even remembered this. But he like came back holding a hairbrush and then like silently brushed my hair.
Whose brush was it?
It was like his brush or something. Brushed my hair.
Wow.
And then tucked me into bed like I was a baby.
No.
Yeah. And I was like, I remember thinking like, I'm never going to tell anybody about this. And then now I'm like, then I made a short film about it and told everybody about it.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. I've heard of silent discos.
So weird.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Did you stay or did you like?
Well, he ended up breaking up with me.
That night?
No, I stayed the night.
Okay.
I woke up the next morning thinking like maybe I'll feel different. And I remember being like, that was so weird. I feel so like ashamed that I went along with that. Like I just felt weird that I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was good for me, though, because it made me, he broke up with me because his psychic saw him dating a brunette. He broke up with me like multiple times. It was like that relationship in my life. That guy that like multiple times broke up with me that I kept like getting back together with.
Right.
This might have been one of the last times. And then I was like, what am I doing? Like it took me a while to get over it.
Yeah.
And then it made me realize like, oh my gosh, like I can't like change who I am to like be with somebody.
It is weird when you think about the stuff that you did for the person who wasn't right versus the stuff you do with your forever person.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll do nothing for you.
Right.
To my husband.
I'm going to be me.
Look, this is who I am.
Right.
If you
Take
don't
it or
like
leave it,
you're stuck with me.
Yeah. And my lady's like, I like you just how you are. I'm like, there's something wrong with you. But I'm not changing. She's like, don't change. It's fine.
No, I know. It's just so much better when you find like the right person as opposed to. It was like it was a good lesson for me for sure, and also like I do think I could have joined a cult. Like I watch every cult documentary and until like episode 4, I'm like, what is wrong with this?
I always wanted to lead one, but I didn't.
You wanted to lead one?
Yeah, I thought it'd be cool to like be the leader of a cult. You could do whatever you want.
You could still do it, I'm sure.
I'm tired. I don't want to. I'm getting old. I'm 45 now. Leading a cult's for like young 30s fellas.
I don't know. Or it's like your midlife crisis.
That's true. I think trying to become a comedian is a lot like trying to be a cult leader. You have to build a fan base.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You have to get people to be rabid followers.
That's true. You got to put out content every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what this is all about, though. It's about the clips.
It's about the clips.
That's right. No one wants to hear our whole conversation.
No, I know.
So we just clip out the 10 best minutes and put it up.
Perfect.
Yeah. Let's do some would you rathers.
Okay.
Which speaking of clips, and then we'll get you out of here because it's almost been. And I have to bring this up, and I'll cut it out if this is inappropriate. Did you see the TikTok last week where it said that all gingers are black people?
No, I did not.
Because your youngest is a ginger, right?
Both of my kids are.
Both your kids are gingers. So you have 2 black children.
What is that about?
I'm now going to have to show you the TikTok. I might as well cut. But there was a black lady on TikTok last week that said all gingers are black people.
Why?
It's
no
TikTok.
Reason?
There's no explanation for anything on TikTok ever. But
that is so weird.
There's a million reaction videos of gingers being like, I'm in.
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy.
Yeah, I saw a picture of the family and I was like, I have to ask her if she's seen it.
Well, somebody told me that. I don't know what this is, but that one of my friends was like, the redheaded like gene is comes from Neanderthals or something, and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Aren't we all Neanderthal? Like,
yeah, I
don't really understand that part of it either. But
I had a buddy last week so I grew up going to church. I'm familiar with like most of the biblical stories. Do you know Adam and Eve?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody not know?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to mansplain or assume anything to anybody. But he was saying that Adam and Eve were special because they were in the garden, but the Neanderthals were the other people outside of the garden. And I was like, there were other people? That doesn't make any sense. He's like, read your Bible, bro. I'm like,
oh my God.
He's like, it's right there in Leviticus. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I missed it. But
my daughter is very into the Bible right now.
Yeah.
My husband is Jewish, and I took my daughter to Arkansas, and she went to 15 minutes of Bible study, came out holding my cousin's daughter's Bible, and was like, I want a Bible. I love Jesus.
Wow.
Why don't you wear dresses, Mom? What's a period? And she had this was all within 10 minutes.
That's a
and
lot.
I was like, I'm literally freaking out right now. And she's
One at a time.
She wants to talk about Jesus all the time.
That's okay.
We had a Shabbat dinner the other night with our cool Jew friends because we're like, we got to balance this out, If we're going to teach her everything, she's got to know everything. So we had a Shabbat and our friend's son was talking to her about Marvel movies because all she talks about is Jesus right now. It took 15 minutes and Jesus got hooked into her.
Wow.
And it's kind of scary how fast it happens. I mean, I was raised super Christian, in Texas and everything, but this happened fast. And 15
minutes is super quick.
Yeah, it's 2 older girls who she's friends with, loves, who are the sweet. I mean, everybody's it's sweet, it's cute, it's whatever. We kind of were brushing it under the rug because we don't really know how to handle it yet. Mm-hmm. And then they just handled it for us in 15 minutes. Yeah. But our friend's son was over and he was talking to her about Marvel movies, and he's like, so do you know Marvel movies? And she's like, no. He's like, do you know Captain America? And she's like, no. And he's like, do you know Thor? You probably know Thor. He's a god. And she goes, no, but I know Jesus. And we were
the one true God. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe not at Shabbat.
Yeah. That's not a great time. She's 5?
She's 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Making up murder stories about babies and loving Jesus all at 5.
Yeah.
What a life.
I know. She's coming for my career. I can tell.
Wow.
Yeah.
You hear those stories about jealous moms that are of their own kids. They're like,
Yeah, I get it.
I came here first to do this career. Now you're trying to take it from me.
I know, totally.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, when I was super pregnant, I bought her this like new bathing suit and she put it on and I was so pregnant and I was like, I am so jealous of how my daughter looks in that bathing suit right now. I was like, this is fucked up.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
So are you guys going to raise them Jewish or let them decide? Are they? We
were like, we'll let them decide. And then she came out like obsessed with Jesus. And I was like, maybe not that one. I don't know. I think we'll let them decide. I just want her to know that because I was raised super Christian and I feel like now I'm just what we all are, not like spiritual. But I just like want her to be open to everybody's belief. I want her to be like, there's other people believe different things because I think underneath it all, it's all kind of the same thing. But I don't want it to be like so locked on to like one thing that you can't really even see that other people in the world think different things.
My parents took me to church twice on Sunday, Wednesday night, and they put me in a Christian school. And I was going to chapel every day. So it was like, man, I was going to church like 9 or 10 times a week.
Yeah, whoa.
It's just a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the stories.
You know Adam and Eve.
I do.
I guess you didn't know part of it, though.
I know one that and the Noah story. I know the Noah story.
The Noah's Ark one.
Just recently brushed up on that one. Yeah. Are you going to convert? Are you to Judaism?
No. I mean, I'm not. But I do like a lot of the Jewish traditions. I always joke that, like, once I run out of material, I'll just convert so that I can get more material. But I'm like, because I guess I'm not having any more kids. No, I don't think I'm going to convert. I do really like this one rabbi, though, who we did a baby naming ceremony for our son instead of, so I was like, I can't do a bris. Like, I feel like it's not my religion. It's not my culture. Like, the baby will be 8 days old or something. And it's just like too much to, I would just feel like my child was being taken from me to do something that's like not, that I don't really know, you know? Yeah. I was like, I'm happy to have like a moil come to the hospital if it's important to my husband or whatever. But like, I just can't, 8 days after having a baby, like, you feel it's psycho, you know?
Yeah. When do they normally do that medically?
You can do it in the hospital
before you go home.
Oh. It's
I don't know anything about. I just know that happened to me, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can do it. We had a daughter first, so I was like, okay, we don't even have to like deal with this. And then we had a son, and I was like, I just like think I'm gonna freak out if we do a bris, you know, because I've never been to a bris. Like, I don't, you know, it just like doesn't feel of me, you know. And so we did it at the hospital, and my husband like was with our son, and then that night he didn't tell me that like our son, we took him home, and they're like, he's supposed to pee by a certain time or it's like really bad. And it was like 8 p.m. I think my son was like 3 days old. And my husband's like, oh, he was supposed to have like peed by now. And
he's supposed to pee yesterday.
And I just started freaking out.
Oh, no.
And then we had to like call the doctor and all this stuff. And like, it's like they could have to get another surgery. I don't know. It's whatever. And then at 4 a.m, my son woke up and I like picked him up and he ended up like peeing all over me, and it's like the happiest I basically like fell on my knees and was like, thank God, like I just got peed all over. I'm like so happy about this. I was like crying happy.
Not where I thought that was going.
Yeah, I just was like, never thought I would be so happy to be peed on in my entire life.
That's going to be the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
And then the intro song, and then the actual.
Great.
Let's do these quick would you rathers. I did have one other question that I pre-wrote, and I can cut it out, but I'm going to ask you before these would you rathers. You on stage talk about how well your husband is, or he comes from. Him or his family has done well for themselves. Mm-hmm. What was it like when your parents met his parents for the first time?
It's like my husband and I don't want to be in the room when that's happening. I don't know. Like,
is it so like different worlds?
Yeah, it's different worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just awkward. Like I'm already it's still like hard for me to be a part of that family because it's one, not my language, I'm not in my own country. I'm not in my own like class. And I'm like the only one that's other when I'm around. So I feel like such a fish out of water, and it's scary because it's really intimidating. So I feel like I can tell my parents are like intimidated too. I mean, we got married in Switzerland, so all of my cousins from Arkansas and like my whole family like came to the wedding in Switzerland, and that was really funny because
did they have to like go get their passports for the first time? Like, we're leaving the country.
they like they're like very worldly because they were all like pilots in the Navy and like cool. they're like very, but they all ended up going back to Arkansas, but I love them. They're like some of the most fun people to be around, and they came to my wedding, and like, you know, they'll play up the Arkansas thing, and it's just so funny. They're just saying like, instead of saying bonjour to everyone in Geneva, they walked around being like Bon Jovi, and like they're
that's funny.
And then my uncle, I guess, so my uncle's name is Gary Don, which is like
all one word,
so southern. Like his middle name is Don, but everybody calls him Gary Don.
Okay.
He lives in Alaska now. My dad lives in Alaska. He has like he had a horse ranch in Alaska as well.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So he came to the wedding in Geneva, and Switzerland is like known for watches. Everyone has fancy, like it's like a watch.
Oh, right.
place.
Yeah.
They make watches,
right.
You know? And so he had this watch that I guess my grandfather had given him. And it's this brand that they have in Switzerland called Patek Philippe, which I know too much about watches now because my husband loves watches, because I guess you have to if you're from Switzerland. And he, I'm like, it's the same time on every watch. Like, why do you need? Do you need so many watches to tell the? But anyways, my uncle brought this watch that I guess had been broken. This Patek Philippe that had been broken to Switzerland because he's like, I want to get my watch fixed when I'm at Brittany's wedding in Geneva. And they go to Patek Philippe in Geneva, which is like fancy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like there's people like outside. You kind of have to like go in. It's
some
like
of those watches are $500,000
to go into Patek Philippe.
Yeah.
So like all my Arkansas cousins, my uncle Gary Don, everybody goes into Patek Philippe. And I guess I was recently in Arkansas and they were telling me like more of the story. They buzz the thing to be like, and they're like, no at first. And then he's like, I have a watch. And they're like, okay. So they let him in. He brought it in a tube sock, his watch in a tube sock into Patek Philippe. And
just dumping it out.
I have this watch. And they were like, what? They were like appalled. And he thought it wasn't working. And the guy came back and he's like, you just need to wind it.
Oh.
And he just needed to wind it the whole time. And he didn't know that.
Well, that's great for him because it probably would have been a $30,000 repair.
And then they gave him like a brand new box to put it in because they're like, we can't let you leave with it. And that's what they
You're not putting that back in the sock.
They gave it to him and he left with it in this new nice box.
That's probably worth a bunch of money too, just the box.
Yeah, totally. But I just think it's so funny that my family showed up with this watch and like the Beverly Hillbillies, you know. But they're not. But they can like play into it.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I hope you tell it on stage.
I've like kind of gotten to that part, but it's like a little touchy on like what I'm talking about my husband's family.
Yeah. Do you have an hour right now? Are you about to tape?
Yeah.
Do you have a special?
I don't have a special, no. But I have like, I'm just like doing, like I'm working on like a big, you know, chunk. But you have to do it in pieces around here or go out of town. To do it. So I'm traveling a little bit now. I mean, like I have 2 little kids.
Yeah.
So I'm like maybe once a month, twice a month I'll go somewhere else. But I can't go on the road like every single weekend.
Oh, that's too much.
No.
Every other weekend is too much.
Yeah. I'm kind of doing like once a month, sometimes twice a month. And then I'll do like West Coast kind of vibe.
Like drivable stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect for me to do that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you were doing stand-up when you were pregnant though, right? Have you talked to Ali Wong about that?
No.
She did both of her first 2 specials pregnant.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. I feel like everyone, like, I feel like I liked doing stand-up while I was pregnant so much that I'm like, that's the only reason I would have another kid is because I like doing stand-up while I'm pregnant.
You end up having 12 children.
I'm like, I don't want another kid, but like, if I did a special pregnant, sure.
Yeah, you can just get the prosthetic.
I know.
Just take it with you everywhere
A
you go.
lot of people thought for a while that my pregnancy was like not a real. I had like a weird, like, just
People
like
thought you were
really
faking it?
large bowling ball type. My stomach was so big at the end that I don't know.
Like Santa.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But like real like basketball. I had like a basketball type pregnancy, where it just like looked like a.
Like you couldn't tell if someone saw you from.
I would like turn around and people would be like, "Oh my god!" Like,
whoa, where'd that come
often,
from? Yeah.
Often. I mean, I felt like you could tell if you saw me from behind, but like, that's my own.
Yeah. I never assume. I've seen too many scenes in movies where people are on the bus and like, "Oh, when do you do?" And the people are like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, let them bring it up.
I feel like towards the end of my pregnancy, I could tell like men or people were trying to do that. But there's a point when you're just so obviously pregnant that you're like, if I wasn't pregnant, this would be alarming, whatever is happening to me right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, you need to go to the doctor.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do these quick would you rathers.
Great.
They don't have to be quick, but we got to get you out of here in just a second.
Okay.
Would you rather spend the day with Beyonce or Taylor Swift?
I used to would have said Taylor Swift, but I feel like maybe Beyonce, because I think that I got really wrapped up in this Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni saga.
Okay.
And I feel like Taylor Swift might be like kind of a mean girl. I don't know. I think she's trying to stay out of the controversy, but I'm sure everybody's a mean girl in some way or another. But
Taylor's very nice.
okay.
I'll tell you why later.
Okay. I really like Taylor Swift though, so that's hard. Maybe Taylor Swift.
It's a tough one.
Maybe Taylor Swift.
I
I'm a
agree.
big fan of Beyonce's new album. I think I'd be more intimidated by Beyonce. I think I'd be really intimidated by Beyonce, and I would have a hard time like really hanging out with her.
But you don't think you'd be intimidated by Taylor? Or you think you have more
I think
relatable?
I wouldn't be as intimidated by Taylor. Taylor Swift feels like, I think that's why she does so well. She's like this approachable, we can all like see ourselves in her. She's kind of like a normal, she feels like she has like a normal vibe that went crazy pop star vibe, where Beyonce just feels like she's a god.
Yeah.
And I think I would feel like I was like in the presence of like a god.
Right, like
and
she's
I'd
her
be a
own
little,
planet.
Like, oh, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I agree.
Great.
This one's going to be a little weird, and we can cut it out if you don't like it. Would you rather be Kanye for a day or Kim Kardashian for a day?
Kim Kardashian for sure. Definitely rather be Kim Kardashian. If I said Kanye, I feel like that would be a real problem.
That would be a real problem.
Unless I was like, I'll be Kanye and I'll like clean up his act in a day.
Right. Like I'll be Kanye, but I'm gonna fix all of this.
I'm gonna fix Kanye in a day.
Yeah. Would you rather live your favorite video game or live your favorite movie?
Well, I don't really know any video games except like Super Mario Kart. So
Okay.
I guess my favorite movie.
Which is?
I really like this movie House Sitter with Goldie Hawn and Steve Martin.
Oh yeah.
I love that movie. That was like one of my favorite movies, and I really like Hook. Maybe Hook. I think I'd live Hook.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Who would you be?
I'd
Hook?
be Tinkerbell.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'd be Julia Roberts' character.
Man, I would be Hook.
Mm-hmm.
He has to fight an alligator. I mean, it doesn't really work out for him.
I don't like alligators. I'd like to fly around. You wouldn't get to fly.
That's true. Maybe I'll be Peter. I think I'm actively Peter Panning my way through life. As it is, so. Well, that's all I have for Would You Rather stuff, and we did an hour.
I love it.
So
thanks.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This was great.
So fun.
Tell everybody where they can find you on the internet.
At I am Brittany Ross on on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
All of it.
All of it. Yeah.
We'll go follow Brittany everywhere. All of it.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll come back.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye.